Listen up, because what just went down at Hollis Hall has the whole city buzzing. While you were sleeping, the front office made moves that are gonna shift the course of this season. And let me tell you, not everybody's gonna be happy with what Ryan Poles pulled off at the deadline. We've got changes on the defensive line that have fans split down the middle, secret running back tryouts nobody saw coming, and a decision from the GM that's got half of Chicago wondering if we're actually trying to win now, or still building for the future. Let me ask you this, after seeing what the Eagles did, what the Ravens did, even what the damn Cowboys did, can the Bears really hang in the playoffs with what we've got? I think the answer is gonna surprise you, but you gotta stick around till the end. Because this third story is the one that really matters for the future of this team. If you're a real Bears fan, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what's coming in the next few weeks could be historic for this franchise. The defensive line just lost to key pieces. And Ryan Poles' response has the whole city questioning whether we actually understand the urgency of the moment. Dayo Odeyingbo, the guy we gave $48 million over 3 years, is out for the season with a blown Achilles. Dominique Robinson, high ankle sprain, out for weeks. And you know what Poles did? He brought in Joe Tryon-Shoyinka from Cleveland for a 6th-round pick. Let me break this down for you. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka was the last pick of the first round back in 2021 by Tampa Bay. 6'5", 260 pounds, 26 years old. Sounds solid on paper, right? But here's the real deal. 15 sacks in 5 full seasons. This year with the Browns, 0 sacks, 3 pressures, 31 defensive snaps, 31. You know how many snaps Montez Sweat plays in a game? Over 50. So I ask you, is this the kind of guy you bring in to replace someone with a $48 million contract? I don't think so. This is a depth move, not an impact move. And here's the issue. The Bears rank 25th in the league in quarterback pressure rate at 17.3%. 25th. We're in the middle of a playoff push, sitting at 5-3, battling Detroit for that 7th seed. And our answer to losing to defensive ends is bringing in a guy who hasn't recorded a sack all year. But hold up, here's what really gets me heated. You know what the Eagles did. They brought in Jalen Phillips. The Ravens got Dre'Mont Jones for a 5th rounder. A 5th and us. With $7.8 million in cap space. We brought in a bench guy from Cleveland. Did you watch the game against Cincinnati? Joe Flacco dropped 42 points on us. Ja'Marr Chase, 168 yards on Tyreek Stevenson. T. Higgins, 73 yards and a touchdown on Nashan Wright. And Poles' answer is to add depth that won't generate pressure. I think Poles is playing the long game here. We still owe Odeyingbo $22 million over the next 2 years. We can't eat that contract and bring in a high-impact edge rusher. But here's my question. Are we building for the future, or are we trying to win now? Because with Caleb Williams playing the way he is, with this offense finally clicking, I'm telling you, this is the time to go all in. Tryon-Shoyinka's making $4.75 million this year, with $4.19 guaranteed. He's a rental. He's gone after this season. So what are we really doing here? Are we patching holes or actually solving problems? And here's what worries me the most. Ben Johnson said Monday, you can never have enough pass rushers. Never. And what did we do? We brought in a guy who hasn't pressured the quarterback all year. The numbers don't lie, folks. Tryon-Shoyinka had 49 pressures in his first 2 seasons as a starter in Tampa. Sounds good. But in the last 2.5 years, just 27 total pressures. You know what that means? It means his production fell off a cliff. And now we, the Chicago Bears, are betting on this guy to revive his career at the most critical point of our season. I'll say this, the only way this move makes sense is if Dominique Robinson comes back quicker than expected. Because if not, we're gonna be leaning on Austin Booker, who just got his first strip sack of the year on Sunday, and a guy Cleveland didn't even want on the field. But here's the part that really concerns me, and stick with me, because this matters. The Bears are playing Gervin Dexter on the edge more than usual. Last year, he lined up there 104 times. This year, just 38. Why? Because we need him inside to stop the run. But now, with these injuries, they're gonna have to move him back outside. And you know what happens when you move your best defensive tackle to the edge. You get soft in the middle. And against teams like the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, teams that run it right up the gut, that's a huge problem. So I ask you, do you trust this defensive line to stop Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff in December when every game counts? I think we've got a serious problem here. And Poles' decision not to make a bigger move has me questioning whether we really understand the moment we're in. But if you think that's all, wait till you hear this. While everyone was focused on the trade deadline, the Bears brought in for running backs for tryouts on Tuesday. Israel Abanaconda, Raheem Blackshear, Montrell Johnson, and Shundarik Powell. For now, let me ask you something. Why is a 5-3 team in the middle of a playoff push trying out running backs when we've got Dander Swift and Roshan Johnson? What's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about? I'm telling you, there's something going on with someone's health that the team isn't telling us. Because you don't bring in for running backs for tryouts if everything's fine in your backfield. You just don't. Let's talk about Raheem Blackshear, because this is the most interesting name. 26 years old, undrafted out of Virginia Tech in 2022. He's bounced around Buffalo, Carolina, Tennessee, and most recently Pittsburgh before getting cut a few weeks ago. Last year with the Panthers, he had 15 carries for 80 yards. But here's the kicker. He returned 31 kickoffs for 791 yards. That's a 25.5 average. You know what that tells me. This guy's a special teamer first, running back second. And with the new kickoff rules this year, having someone who can flip field position is valuable. But here's my question. Do we really need this right now? Swift is running well. Roshan is healthy. Travis Homer is on the roster. So what are they seeing in practice that we're not seeing on Sundays? I think this is insurance. I think someone's more banged up than they're letting on. Because in the NFL, especially when you're 5-3 and every game matters, you don't waste time and resources trying out for running backs unless there's a real reason. And here's what worries me. If Swift goes down, if Roshan can't go, suddenly we're depending on a guy we just signed off the street. In the playoffs, against teams like the Eagles, the Lions, the Niners, let me ask you, does that give you confidence? It doesn't for me. I think we should have used that roster spot to bring in help for the secondary or the D-line. But instead, we're trying out running backs, and you know what's the craziest part? They did it on the same day as the trade deadline. The same day everyone was waiting for Poles to make a big move. He's at Hollis Hall watching for running backs run routes. I'm telling you, either there's an injury coming, or Poles is being way cautious with depth. And in a season where we finally have a real shot to make noise, being cautious could cost us big time. Being cautious could cost us big time. And just when you thought we were done, here comes the real headline. Ryan Poles' decision not to make a big move at the trade deadline has the whole city split. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why this could be the biggest mistake of his career as Bears GM. Listen to these names that moved yesterday. Jalen Phillips to Philly. Dre'Mont Jones to Baltimore for AFIFTH rounder. Quinnen Williams to Dallas. Sauce Gardner to the Rams for a first and a third. Even Breece Hall was available for a third. And what did we do? Joe Tryon-Shoyinka for a sixth. That's it. Let me ask you, did you see what the Cowboys did? 3-5-1. Worse record than us, and they brought in Quinnen Williams, an all-pro defensive tackle, and us. We're in a better spot, with a real shot at the playoffs, and we stood pat. Let me tell you something about this moment in Bears history. We've got Caleb Williams playing like a 10-year vet. We've got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Romo Duns. The offense is finally working. And our defense, which is supposed to be our identity, just gave up 42 points to Joe Flacco. And Poles' answer is to trust that what we've got is enough. I think that's a mistake. I'm telling you, when you've got a window, when your rookie quarterback is balling out, when you're 5-3 and one game out of the 7th seed, you can't play it safe. Now here's Poles' argument, and I get it. We still owe Odangbo $22 million. We've only got $7.8 million in cap space. Prices were inflated. Jermaine Johnson cost a second. Max Crosby wasn't even really available. I get all that. But you know what? The Ravens figured it out. The Eagles figured it out. Even the damn Cowboys figured it out. And here's what really ticks me off. Ben Johnson said Monday, you can never have enough pass rushers or cover guys. Never. And what did we do? We didn't bring in either. They brought in CJ Gardner-Johnson for the slot, and that's fine. But he doesn't fix the fact that Tyreek Stevenson gave up 168 yards on Sunday. Doesn't fix that Nahshon Wright gave up 73 yards and a touchdown. And on the edge, we're trusting Austin Booker, who just got his first strip sack of the year on Sunday, to be the answer. A rookie in a playoff race. Let me ask you, does that give you confidence to face the Packers to more times this year? To face the Vikings? To go into Detroit and win? Not for me. And here's the biggest issue. We're 25th in the league in quarterback pressure. 25th, with Montez Sweat, who's supposed to be a pro bowler. Now imagine that without Odangbo, without Robinson for weeks, and with Tryon, who hasn't had a sack all year. I think Poles is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. I think he's thinking about 2026, 2027, when these bad contracts are off the books and we've got real cap space to build. But let me ask you, and I want honest answers in the comments, what if this is our best shot? What if Caleb never plays this well again? What if injuries hit us next year? In the NFL, windows close fast. Ask the 2018 Bears, 12-4, lost in the wild card, never came back. Trubisky was never the same. The defense fell apart. And here we are, 7 years later, still trying to get back. I'm telling you, Poles had a chance to make a statement. To tell this city, this team, this league, that the Chicago Bears are back and we're going all in. And instead, he played it safe, conservative. The move that protects his job, but doesn't necessarily put us in the best position to win now. And you know what's the most frustrating part? Chicago fans deserve better. This city, that's been through Trubisky, through Nagy, through Pace, through years of mediocrity, finally has something special in Caleb Williams. And we're not doing everything we can to maximize this opportunity. I think we're gonna regret this. I think come January, when we're watching the playoffs from the couch because we missed by one game, we're gonna look back at this deadline and wonder what could have happened if we had brought in that edge rusher, that cornerback, that missing piece. But here's the reality. Poles bet on health improving. He bet on Dominique Robinson coming back fast. He bet on Booker developing. He bet on Gardner Johnson stabilizing the secondary. And if he's right, if all those bets hit, I'll be the first to say I was wrong. But if not, if we keep giving up 40 points a game, if we can't get pressure, if we can't cover, then this decision is going to define his legacy as Bears GM. So let me ask you this. Bears family, do you think Tryon can actually help this defensive line? Or should Poles have gone after a bigger name? Do you think there's a hidden injury in the backfield that forced us to try out those for running backs? And the biggest question, did Poles do the right thing by playing it safe at the deadline? Or did we just waste our best shot to compete? I need you to tell me in the comments right now. Because this community, you, are the ones who truly understand what it means to be a Bears fan. You're the ones who've suffered, who've waited, who deserve to see this team win. And if you believe, like I do, that this organization needs to hear the voice of the fans, then do something for me. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell. Because I promise you, in the next few weeks, we're gonna have even more explosive news about this team. We'll be here every day, breaking down every move, every decision, every game. Because you deserve someone who tells it like it is. No filters, no fear. This is our family. This is our community. And together, we're riding with these Bears to the end. No matter what. Bear down, Chicago. I'll see you in the next video.